So, we're gonna get started. Let's do this. Intro. Hey Internet, my name is Todd, and today we are gonna play us some Dungeons and Dragons. So we've been playing for a little while. We are on episode 40. We started as a homebrew, and now we are going into Descent into Avernus for like 20 episodes or something like that now. So we've been doing this, and we do it interactive, we do it live, and we also do it on podcast. So thanks very much for however you're choosing to join us tonight. We hope you are well, and let's meet the table. So, there it is. Okay, there's the table. The table does exist. Hi, everybody. No one's talking. It was because I shushed them during the intro.
Hello.
You guys don't like to be shushed.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I am talking. Can you not hear us?
I can hear you now. But for a little while there,
Ha
I over-shushed. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad.
You overshushed.
I over-shushed. Oh, come on. Every one of us is over-shushed at some point. All right. I actually don't know what that means, but, you know, it means something. Apparently, tonight, I'm out of pencil lead, so everything's in pen. I'm marking all my damage in pen. This is a one-way ticket. All right, folks.
Yeah, it's all permanent damage.
So we're playing some...
That's how TPK start.
Exactly. And so this is Descent into Avernus, and these are the lovely players who are the morally ambiguous crew. Although we're missing a few members tonight. Unfortunately, Jay couldn't make it, so let's introduce him first. Dead or missing, Archibald, we miss you. Yeah, so maybe he'll come back. We'll see. But in the meantime, let's meet everybody around the table, shall we? And then we'll do a recap, and then we'll get going. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's start over at the far end there. Hey, Bela, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm Darmita. I am a Gloomstalker Ranger, fallen Aasimar, and the strangest, darndest thing happened last time. I got old fast, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, you had an encounter
Your
with a
literal
ghost.
life force sucked from you.
40 years.
And the rest of us
your
too.
life.
Let's not.
That was a while back now. And so we are...
2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to figure out what happened to you there. So that'll be fun.
A lifetime ago.
Absolutely. So you are no longer 20-something. You're now 60-something in-game as Gloomstalker Ranger, who is face-to-face with somebody who looks surprisingly like you. Actually, you might look a little older than her right now. I mean, she's a celestial being, so I don't know what they age like. But we're encountering...
It's fair. So is she, though.
We're encountering Darmita's mom tonight, so, Darmita's mom. Anyway, we'll keep on going. It's like,
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it.
I'm in love with Stacy's mom. No, Darmita's mom. That's a song, right? I think that's a song. All right, we do not have
I
right.
don't think so. No.
I'm pretty sure that's a real song. All right, so let's keep going around the horn here. Darcy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? No one ever asked the GM, right?
Oh my god! I can TP. That's never
You're
happened.
so quiet, son.
I'm so shocked. I've never been asked before.
Uh,
I'm okay.
well, enough of that. Back to me.
That's all I get.
No, I'm doing great. You can find me at Darcy Bits, blah 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 stuff. Find my stuff. Do it. It's good. I'll be playing the pacifist paladin of Palor, Henrietta Pedersen.
Henrietta Pedersen.
Also known as Hen.
Yeah, and Henrietta is, I think you're probably the most holy of the people currently in hell. So there's no
I'd
way
like to
that'll
think so.
come back and hurt you.
No. Why would that be specifically targeted?
I don't know. Maybe the person rolling around with a giant Peller symbol on their shield. Anyway, whatevs. It's all good. All right, and
I know,
then
right?
circling around, let's talk to Falurie next and Carl. How's it going, Carl? Thanks for joining.
Going fantastic. Now that my daughter's asleep, it's awesome.
Yeah, Dungeons and
So,
Parenting, am I right?
I will be playing. Oh, dear goodness. So I'll be playing Falurie, a Shadow Monk, Aarakocra Shadow Monk. I missed the last session, so just like you, Internet, I am eagerly awaiting this recap, because I don't know what the heck Falurie's doing.
Oh, we'll bring everybody up to speed.
That's it.
All right, awesome. And then, of course, the venerable, the voluptuous, the venticular, I don't know, Gordon.
Vindictive.
There it is,
Definitely not
vindictive.
voluptuous. Vindictive. Playing Fenris, Shadow Sorcerer, stuck in hell with everyone. Has some things going on.
Absolutely.
Hi,
Is he
Fenris.
clutching his little blankie he had as a child? Let's not forget that.
Figured
That-
out. I haven't
that's
forgotten
actually-
that.
You've
Figured
actually
that out.
happened.
That's potentially a
Found
ticket
it
out.
in a dream and wrested it from his own little child self in a dream. If you only had that last piece. Interesting. Anyway, and then, of course, I am playing everybody else. Although I'm not doing it alone because Internet... Where's the camera? Camera 1, camera 2. Internet, you're going to be helping me out, okay? So we do what's called plot points. And how that works is you watch a little while, you get some points, you cash them in, and we have to involve your suggestions in some manner. It could be a dream, a hallucination, a random imp dropping by. It could be, you can make suggestions about storylines, all this kind of stuff. Can't instant TPK, that's my job. But you know, we welcome suggestions and we welcome you sharing with us this adventure. All right, so let's dive into the credits and then we will do the recap. Ready? Oh, we already did the credits, but we're doing it again. Damn it.
Thought so, yeah.
All right. No. Let's dive right into the recap. Time is of the essence. All right. You find yourselves in hell, in a particular place in hell called the Hell Rider's Crypt. You have sought out the location of a sword, rumored and now confirmed by your Hollyphant ally to have been secreted away somewhere on the plane of Avernus. This blade once belonged to the now archdevil, the Eye of Pelor, your nemesis for a very long time, and now revealed to be Zariel, the archdevil, once celestial angel, who now rules Avernus. You have been seeking many things. Number one, you have heard that Zariel couldn't, that the Eye of Pelor could not be harmed significantly unless you knew their true name, as is the demonic or devilish nature of their new form. You also discovered that such a weapon might prove invaluable in your journey to perhaps use as a bargaining token, perhaps used to escape, or perhaps used to slay your enemy. You've crossed the plains of hell, finding enemies, finding unlikely allies. The Night Hag and her cadre of war machine driving maniacs. Picture Mad Max with like less hair gel. You, sorry, you. I like how Carl's busy picturing that. You now found yourself, after a while, finally approaching the crypt of the Hell Riders. You went in down below, encountering ghosts. Your Aarakocra ally, not eager to enter the confined hallways and passageways of the crypt. Spent too much time already beneath the confining stone. Wings that were meant to soar do not like to be held down. Meanwhile, you descended into the crypt and discovered that your possible enemy, an undead creature, Death Knight Deva. Death Knight Deva. That sounds like a wicked band name, I'm just saying. Death Knight Deva, the fallen mother of your fallen Aasimar ranger friend, is the champion, the guardian of these halls, and all of the souls of the armored, skeletal, and ghost inhabitants of this crypt. Almost 100 or more Hell Riders waiting at the beck and call, bound eternally to the service of Zariel. Bound by something within. You found part of what binds them. Names etched in stone styles. Some other aspect, though, binding their souls to this place. Somewhere the ghosts could not find. You explored further, having discovered Nishida. She had a room in this crypt. A room which she occasionally would visit. And you found her personal journals from both prior to her demise in hell, and a few entries even beyond that. Buoyed by this information, you explored the crypt some more, coming face to face with 8 undead mummies attacking. And then, as you drove them off in some serious epic, like, dude, you say you're a pacifist, but you're just like, you will run. And they all ran away. So nice work there, Henrietta. And slaughtering a few of those that
Pacifist?
stayed.
What are you talking about?
It is. It was, did not expect that. And then, this is the face of a DM who's like, that would have been an epic battle. It's all good.
I mean, the thing is, it lasts a minute, and we're still there. We haven't left yet. We need to get going, or they're just going to turn around.
Yep. Now, you were about to leave when suddenly up came Nishida, Darmita's mom, who's got it going on. As came around the corner and began to speak with you. And that brings us up to speed. So,
yeah, I think that's basically everything.
what do you want to do?
Okay. I guess I'm waking up and wondering where all my friends are.
I think you said you'd wait in the van.
There are the machines.
You
The
got all
infernal
huffy
machines.
when I was like, I'll calm you down.
We're not that far in.
No.
No, we're not.
We
Yeah.
didn't get very far in, and you stayed right at the mouth
You may
of the cave.
Let's
or the
start with
entrance.
Falurie, actually. Falurie, do a perception
love
check
that.
for me.
Ooh, I love rolling dice.
I think that's why we're all here.
Not these ones though, apparently.
Well, you like
10.
rolling them. They don't like rolling for you. All right. So
No.
there's not... What breeze does happen in hell is hot and stifling and fetid with odors of rank undeath and rotten flesh, the tang of iron and the
Unwashed.
and a strong, almost overpowering scent of sulfur. And yet you stand on the top of this hill, your feathers just slightly ruffled by the breeze. You can see on the horizon, stretching out around you, these blasted plains. You see lava fields smoking and bubbling further away I believe to the south. And you see these rise of these mountains due west. North from where you came, you see the just a hint of the Styx from where you are. flowing across the plains. As you're standing there, you hear these loud cracking sounds that seem to be coming from very far off, almost like a distant earthquake, and a very subtle shudder, and the whole place just rocks. You look again, and the Styx now seems a little bit closer, just flowing maybe 500 feet away, down near the bottom of one of these hills. You swear it had been farther away, that the landscape kind of doing the whole vertical dual focus pull thing, where parts of the landscape just don't seem to stay where they were. This is not the first time you've noticed that effect, but it is unsettling, to say the least. You look down, and a little bit way down the hill face, you see the two infernal machines, the large bus-like thing with a hook and a claw, like a towing, grappling hook on the back. And you see the smaller dune buggy type machine. The two Kenku kind of crawling over them and twisting and just making sure they're in good order, checking on them, squawking back and forth to each other. You can hear them just a little ways away. You catch a glimpse here and there of Barnabas flickering around towards the top of the larger of the two machines, the flame skull, glancing around a bit nervously and kind of calling out to the others. What do you want to do?
Well, how long has it been since they've been in?
It's easy to lose track of time down here, but you would say they probably went in about maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour ago. They'd cracked open that door, and something about the creaking of stone just and the grind of the door as it slid open just raised your hackles, and you decided to get a little bit of air.
All right. I'm noticing what you described there, changing landscape and whatnot. But it doesn't seem there's anything that is really motivating Falurie to go in, or rather, there's nothing motivating her to go in to counter her fear, essentially. There's nothing out there that is scaring her so much that she's like, okay, you know what? The safety of a scary crypt is probably much better.
So you're kind of catching a bit of a breather outside, and at this point, it's subtle. It's a little unnerving as you look around and you see all these bowed knights in armor, kind of bowing down before these standing stones that mark this crypt and the entryway down. A circle of stones and a circle of dead men and women, dead at their posts, their bones resting in their armor as a casket. You get a sense of like a creepy cold mist kind of flowing along the hill. Even though it is up on the surface of the hill, it should by all rights have burned off, but it just seems to hang low. At the moment, it seems fairly quiet and uneventful. If anything changes, your keen eyes will probably pick it up. But not with a tent. All right, jumping back down inside. Darmita, you are standing in an L-shaped room, about 15 feet wide, 25 or so feet long. There are several entrances and an alcove behind you. Off to your right, you can hear the mummies scratching and clawing along the hallway as they retreat away from your paladin ally. The brilliant white light emanating from the shield behind you, casting shadows maddeningly dancing on the crypt walls. Behind you, you see the fresco. You'll see, anybody want any groceries? No. You see a fresco behind you, or a carving anyway, depicting these warlocks who had been instrumental in crafting these divine and inferno gates. This massive archway, kind of depicting the outer edge of this mural, or whatever it is. This thing, art wall thing. Should have taken some art in high school. Pardon me. And then dotted with all these smaller motifs of these gateways that you are more familiar with. But none of that, even the two mummies scratching inside the oversized urn behind you don't seem to attract much attention. Because in front of you, wincing slightly from the brilliant white light, you see the sallow, sunken face. Pale skin, etched with scars, some fresh, some very old. The once beautiful face of a deva, now filling, her body filling this entryway directly in front of you. Her wings clasped tight to fit into this space. Her eyes carry a strange greenish flicker of light, kind of like smoke just drifting off of them, falling down towards the floor. Her lips cracked, her teeth sharp. Her armor is blackened and shows signs of mutilation and wear and the twisting that a lot of the hellish landscape does to a fine artifact. Once a beautiful set of armor depicting her rank in the celestial army is now twisted, defiled, and before you stands a death knight of hell, your mother. She looks at you.
I feel like Darmita, at this point, has been searching like a lot for her mom and for answers. So, throw caution to the wind. What the hell? What's the worst that can happen? Famous last words. I'm just gonna walk slowly, steadily closer. And as I'm walking, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the subtlety cues of her face and body, to see like if she's flinching or
do an insight check.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, do an insight check for me. Ooh, 19. It's eerie. As you're looking closer to her and you lower your bow and look closely at her, you see she doesn't take breath. She's almost statuesque in the way that she's standing. The only thing that moves are her eyes as they flicker down, take you in slowly. From your boots, your bow, your armor, upwards, your hair, your cloak. You can see her clock, like notice your wings hidden beneath your cloak. And then her eyes, the only thing that's moving, take in your face. There's a look of, I guess, ever so slight furrow of her brow. And then she locks eyes with you, and it melts away.
I know you. Why do you come to my home? my rest.
Because I'm seeking answers.
Has it been so long?
She takes a slow step forward, as though seeking permission to approach. When you don't flinch,
I'll relax.
when you don't flinch away, she stands in front of you. She already dropped her sword. This massive twisted metal blade behind her. She reaches up a hand and just starts to touch just the end of your hair, and then retreats her hand back.
Darmita, if I may. We don't have much time. Could we take this somewhere else?
This is the first time Nishida has seen anyone else, even though you're blazing bright white light. She seems to blink
it's only
and
the
look
time
at you,
of casting.
and her
I
eyes
don't have
goes
like an aura or anything.
blinks into this almost cat-like reflex, her pupils dilating, narrow into slits sideways as she takes you in, and her lip curls back a little bit, taking in the symbol on your shield.
What do you do here? Why? Why come here? Do you mock me?
She calls out to
We're
you.
looking to release you. Everyone cursed here. And we're looking for ways to find the Bleeding Citadel.
At that, she takes half
I'm
a
just
step
gonna
back.
turn.
Go ahead.
It's an honor to speak with you, Nishida. Commander Nishida. That's what I meant to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn to Hen, and I think it's just Hen and Fenris, isn't it?
It is.
I'm actually hidden.
Yeah.
I'm around the corner.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at them. I'm just gonna kind of stay where I am and turn and look and go, you leave. I need to stay. Go
don't-
ahead without me.
Is she not who we're looking for?
I need to get answers. Maybe the answers I get will help us or not. I don't know.
If that's what you wish. And I think I'll bow to Nishida, and then I'll head out.
At your words, Hen, you did see her. It's almost like an instinct that she's fighting down. An instinct to attack. And yet at your respectful words, she does pause. And she motions. She motions you. She raises a hand and points back into that tunnel, that entryway that Fenris is currently hiding in.
Okay.
You seek a place to be uninterrupted. If you are careful, you can find it there. Not all those who served me in life are so obedient in death.
Thank you. I hope to speak with you later, once you've had your time alone. I'll head out. I'll leave.
All right. As Henrietta walks away, the light goes with her, and you are just plunged into darkness. The air is thick and hot.
Just how you like it.
You are a Gloomstalker ranger, and you have dark vision, but even then, the oppressive gloom of this crypt kind of seeps into the dark. It just seems much more oppressive in the dark. And without, you hear the scrabbling sounds of the undead nearby. And Nishida is absolutely silent as she is standing in front of you. You get the impression that she's able to see you no problem in the dark and is waiting.
Hmm.
And I'll just kind of say to her, what is your allegiance to Zariel?
My allegiance is bound. I am bound by stone and soul. I am bound by blood. And I am bound by the threat of memory.
Is that the contract?
Zariel does hold my contract. I was too weak to resist. Long service became a habit until it was too late.
When you say he owns it or holds it, we were under the impression there were contracts here of your allies, and our hope was to free them as well as you. Is that not true?
The contracts are here of others. Those who served in my command, and I and Zariel's when we came to Hell. They are bound here by stone and ink. And I am powerless to free them. I am. And my contract. Well, Zariel keeps that beyond my reach. Having become the Archdevil, Zariel has many tricks up their sleeve. Many places and powers and influences. I always wondered what became of you. You...
She takes a good long look at you for a moment, and there's the first wrinkle of a concern as she furrows her brow and steps forward, this time her other hand coming up and reaching towards your face, newly lined with wrinkles and the passage of time.
You do not seem yourself. What happened?
Yeah. Well, I was foolish and when we first came in here, I came across one of the knights, and unfortunately, before he recognized me, thinking I was you, yeah, he drained me of some life, so I'm a little bit older. And I still haven't seen myself, so I don't know what that looks like. I just know that my hands look different from what you
Absolutely.
described last time.
Oh, absolutely. You've gained 40 years of living in hell, no less. So that's not
Yeah.
a good kind of 40. She looks at you with almost a look of relief for a second, but there's still a pressing concern behind her eyes, and she kind of reaches up and just kind of runs a hand down your arm, almost out of just kind of taking you in, and then raises your hand in hers if you let her, and just looks at it and turns it over, and then looks at you.
And are you damned as well? What is it? How is it that you are condemned here now? I had hoped to spare you that.
I'm sure you did. It's a long story, but
Right about now,
one I don't
a bunch
quite
of mummies
understand.
start crawling out and start hissing and coming around the corner and coming back down the hall from where they fled, and they are you can just glance
Okay, those
over.
ones would have kept running, so they would be way far away. The
That's
ones in the
true.
hole would have got stuck, so they probably come back quickly.
Yeah, these two came crawling out of the urn in which they were shielding themselves, and they start hissing and kind of crawling towards you and reaching out. And Darmita just Nishida just looks at them and just gives this, and they kind of look at each other and they hiss, and she just, and she's muttering. You speak Infernal, so you hear her yelling at them, saying, "You will not harm her or her companions, or I will tear you limb from limb." And needless to say, they leave you alone at that point and go back to their urn. You were saying?
Yeah, I basically I found some companions, and basically I think that I am supposed to pick up where you left off, and I'm going to try to, with my companions, get rid of him so that the rest of you can be free.
Nishida she looks from side to side and kind of pulls you in close and says,
Oh, my daughter. And
she hugs you, and you think you're just like, and then she
Terrified.
whispers in your ear,
you must be careful what you say and to whom you say it. And you must not dare think it. As you know, there are many things that can communicate with our minds. But the archdevils, they hear. They can listen to that. So if you must speak, speak softly and aloud.
she pulls back and looks at you and smiles.
And at that point, Can I try to use my commune? Which I haven't been able to use.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your d6.
But I've never
Oh.
been with her,
I'll say with advantage.
right? I've never been with her, and I don't even know if I am with her, but we'll see what happens.
Turns out it's not her. It's a mimic. No, I'm kidding.
I was waiting for it.
Mimic.
Well, I got a
Mom
5 and
has
a.
got it going on. Sorry. What did you roll?
I got a 5 and a 6.
Oh, the 6 counts. All right. You had it with advantage. You have commune. You look at her, and the darkness starts to flare. And this light just begins at the baseboards and begins to flow upwards, illuminating this place almost like a wipe, as though someone's just pulling up a wall of light around you and then closes it over you and Nishida in almost like a cocoon. The light then fades, and you find yourselves in this oversaturated forest. The trees and the forestscape kind of lost in this white haze. And in this moment, you are alone with her. And she looks at you with this look of shock on her face of like,
I didn't know. It is still best that we're careful what we say here. But I don't feel the Archdevil's presence. Not so strongly here. I don't know what you did. What we did. I don't know how long this will last, but if you have questions, now's the time. And I have some of my own.
what do you want to ask her?
Oh man, I should have thought about this.
And you're on your own, so the players can't help you.
Yeah.
Well, they can.
I
Tabletop,
know,
you can
right?
spend plot points. So can you, Internet. Want to ask, Mom?
You could always scene break and flip back.
It's true, we could.
Yeah, I mean,
You can think for a bit. We could come back.
what?
We could come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All right.
All right.
Internet, I really want
Walking
you.
down the hallway in the dark.
Do I get plot points? I guess I get unlimited plot points, right? I kind of want you to be asked. So, Mom,
Effectively.
is there a history of diabetes in our family? I mean, I really need to know. Just kidding. We'll come back to that in a moment.
You know.
All right.
_Quinn said, GM always get unlimited plot points.
It's true. We cheat. We cheat with all the plot points. All right. Good to see you, Gemini. Thanks for dropping by. All right. So, meanwhile, you guys have walked down the hall in the direction that the fallen Archdeva, undead Deva, has indicated. And for some reason, why am I not able to reveal?
I mean, I probably lingered just a little bit to make sure she was okay, but then, yeah, followed and started walking down.
Yeah, you see the
Yeah, I assumed you
the mummies.
heard that conversation.
You
before.
saw that hiss, and you saw them stepping forward, and the flames began to crackle in your fingers, just a little flicker of light as you're about to like blast them, and then you see Nishida like yell at them, and they just retreat, and you even see one go back into the mural, hidden extremely carefully in the stonework, and the little surface of their stonework sarcophagi decoration just closed. And you know that, at least for the moment, Darmita is safe.
So I
What-
guess we're gonna go into this next room carefully. I'll let Henrietta take the lead.
Sure.
And
Henrietta,
I still have my
yeah.
locate object up, right?
Did you cast it again?
I did after the short rest. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so
And
it
I
is
cast
currently
the invisibility, just so you know.
right. So nothing hides from either of you. All right, so large. You walk into another funerary chamber. You've seen similar ones, but nothing quite as elongated as this. This is, you see large iron burial urns positioned reverently throughout this hall, each engraved with a noble coat of arms of the city of Elturel. Henrietta, you recognize some of the last names. Not the first names, necessarily, being 50 or so. Well, we haven't quite nailed down when this went down, about
Yeah,
50,
it's fine.
40, 50 years ago. You see polished swords, lances, and shields, and other weapons not decorative, hanging from racks on the walls. Urns stand in the corners, and especially Fenris, as you look, you see the ethereal shapes of these ghosts just standing next to or within these urns. And when the light comes in, the ghosts retreat within their urns, as you saw when Darmita done got aged. Can I get you
think
both
that
to do
when
a
I
perception
see that
check?
this
for
is
me?
like a
Sorry, go ahead.
funerary thing. Like as soon as I notice that there's like funerary urns, I think like the first thing I do upon entering the room is I like kneel and like say a soft prayer, or like it's like a prayer is a correct word, but like that's such a broad thing. I mean, like we're requesting passage through your realm. We mean you no harm. Like all those kinds of like the honorifics or whatever the right word is that you would
And
say.
in fact,
to
because
the dead.
you are trained in their original rites and in their religion, or one-time religion, and as you bow and say these things, as you enter, you see these ghosts relax and just fade into their urns, watchful, but not offensive. And one of them looks out, peers out, only Fenris can see this, peers out curiously, the one in the far left corner, peers out almost curiously at the pair of you.
Roll the
You're
24.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I rolled a 24
All right.
in perception.
Because you can see ethereal objects, it's this weird, almost ultraviolet sense where you get to see mist forms and so on that others don't. And you can actually see the one ghost that was staying vigilant kind of puts a hand up to the other one just to the far end, just to the south. And they both look towards the center of the wall, dead center of the wall, between them, right about here. You also, Henrietta, you and your locate object spell immediately and strongly get a pulse.
Okay.
From this way, directly east, the east wall that Fenris is now looking at. And it's close. Probably, maybe not as close as within this room, but close.
Is this over here at the far wall? Is that just the weapons and stuff, or is there? a
That's
feature
the
there
weapons
or
and
something?
stuff, yeah. The
Okay,
racks
I
of weapons.
figured, just thought I'd
And a
ask,
few
yeah.
more urns.
Okay.
I look at the wall. Is there anything discernible with it? Is with my sight, do I see that it could be the outline of a doorway?
With a
hidden
24, you take a close wall where those two ethereal ghosts were motioning. And Henrietta, you don't see the ghosts per se, but you sense their presence nonetheless.
I would guess they're there, and even if not, I would still do what I'm doing because I think that's important and a respectful thing to do.
Absolutely. On this wall, you can actually see there is a single lance leaned against the wall, and it's leaned against a small alcove, like a small dent right in the wall. Not deep. It's only a few inches deep, just enough to kind of prop the lance there, and it's as if it's waiting for its former owner to pick it up.
Okay. Do I notice that the ghost, the one that was looking at us, does it look like it's ready to attack or guard? Do I sense curiosity or menace?
Can I get Henrietta to roll persuasion with advantage? Your respectful
just like
rights.
My natural sort of. Oh, okay, sure.
No, when you first entered, I didn't make you roll that.
Persuasion.
But please roll persuasion.
Yeah, sure. 22.
Woo!
Which is actually a very low roll. It's a 10
Wow.
on the die. Yeah.
All right. They do not appear hostile. If anything, they seem a little bit hesitant, but they don't appear hostile in any way, and don't appear to be moving beyond their urns.
Yeah, so I've like kneeled and been starting saying some words while Fenris is looking around. You probably had assessed like the whole room before I stand up again.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna whisper to Henrietta, east wall, hidden door, and I'm going to see if I can mage hand the lance to see if if there's something to it.
Sure.
Like if and if it's too heavy, let me know. I'll cast telekinesis if I
it's
need
fine.
to. But...
So you reach out with the mage hand, and you see it like apparate next to this, and the kind of translucent, whatever color you want hand, probably shadow. The shadowy tendrils of fingers reach out from the darkness, and even in the brilliant light from Henrietta's shield, they wrap around the lance and just give it a little pull, and it resists for a second. And you're like, oh, this is going to be too... And then it looks like it's going to topple. And your mage hand may or may not be heavy enough to hold a lance. I think they're like 15 pounds. But you might be able to stop it from falling. But as it starts to go, it doesn't go further. It only retracts about, maybe about a foot out from the wall.
Like
and then stops. And then you hear this... And these lines, this kind of bluish, glowing lines appear where the doorway is, right between these two urns. You have opened a secret door.
Good job, Fenris. If there's just like a name on each of those urns, I'll just like recite each of them before saying, we seek passage if to hopefully release you from your curse.
When you mention that,
please allow us to.
It's a bit odd because you don't actually see them.
Better thing than that.
You just know that they're there. And Fenris, you watch them react to this. As the lance falls, they start to seem upset, like you've disturbed their resting place. And then when it doesn't fall down, the door opens. The ghosts look at each other. And there's this ethereal echo through the space. And then they look back, and that's when Henrietta walks between them, saying her respectful words and saying, you're here to help. And they both salute and go to a knee.
Cool. Is this actually an open door, or is it just
a line
where a door would
be open door?
It is now open.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a doorway or like a door.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go in.
All right.
What do we see inside?
There's a small, maybe 15 by 20 foot room, chamber, really. A ritual room. Similar to the one that that had the the bed and the desk for Nishida, but this one is a little bit different. You enter this room and disturb ankle-deep mist flowing in the room. The two ghosts stand as though they move to follow in escort of Henrietta, but as you pass through, they stop right where the door was, and they reach out a hand and then stand back and return to their urns and salute as Henrietta passes. The mist below you parts to reveal a ritual circle dabbed in blood on the floor. The blood, dark, old, and you see hundreds of slivers of parchment arranged within this circle. Each tiny strip bearing a name written neatly in blood. You have found what you looked for, what you were looking for. Your locate object. Pulsing.
Nice. I am going to just use can I do an Arcana check? I just want to make sure to confirm the nature of this spell, that it is the first or second part of what is trapping everyone here.
Can you
in my mind, I think it's one part is the styles and one is here.
Sure, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
Do I have to have Arcana to give advantage? Because I also just want to try on.
I'm gonna say no.
Pieces.
I think you can assist and point out and be like, "What's that mean?" There are runes, and
first one's a 24.
You rolled a 19.
It's one of those instead of rolling an Arcana and a religion, it's like using both those knowledges together to come up with an actual.
I love it.
Total picture.
You go ahead.
Sort of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, go ahead and roll there.
But
Darcy.
I mean, he rolled 19, so
he did. But I want you to roll.
Likely.
You just convinced me that you should roll Arcana and religion at the same time, and I am all
go ahead.
for that.
Oh, sure, I can roll my religion. Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
Not
24 is more compelling.
24 is more compelling.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is Darcy. Henrietta. This is some evil magic. This is the foulest of.
I'm really hoping
bargains.
I can figure out how to, break it. And if we set it on fire, is that good enough? Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out with my Arcana check. How do I end this?
You pick this up and you're like, do we burn this? And you say that to Fenris, and you pick a few of them
pick it up.
Or at least inspect it and look at this circle daubed in blood. And there is words and runes scratched into the blood around the outside, an arcane binding. And essentially, you speak Infernal, Fenris, if I remember correctly.
I do, yes.
Yeah, so you can read this. And it is you gather that here are the bound names, bound in blood and stone. One of two vaults to serve the new Archangel of Avernus. You also gather it wouldn't be enough to just destroy these parchment pieces. This room has been shielded from the undead being able to explore it. But even just destroying these alone would not be enough. Striking their names from the stone carved stiles and destroying these strips. But you also get, you're like, wait, you kind of beautiful mind it for a second. You're like, okay, one of two. Wait. The this styles. I'm gonna call it styles. The stone reliquaries that they are bound to are referred to, and it's kind of like translating Latin, where it's like, okay, that, and then this chamber, but this chamber is referred to in the plural sense. There will be more. There will be another somewhere.
Okay. So then, do I pick up that I need to strike the names from the styles first, or that I can burn these first? Is there a certain order, or is it any order?
It can be. You get the impression that it can be any order.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's just
what
that there's
we
more.
said earlier.
There's more than one of these chambers potentially.
Yeah.
But I could just burn this chamber.
Yeah.
Right?
By destroying these papers, you will deactivate the protection on the memorial styles. Stels?
Okay.
Beautiful.
Stels. Got it. So there was something protecting those memorial styles. Okay.
Cool. Do we want to cut back to Darmita?
Let's cut back to
why don't you
Falurie,
step
actually.
out of the room?
Sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I like that.
I
No,
was
go
going to
ahead.
say let's step out of the. I'm going to destroy these parchments.
Sure.
All right, I'll leave you to that.
Right. Like I'm just going to be like, I'm not going to waste a fireball, but I'm going to be just, flame arrowing them.
Pew pew, one at a time.
Well, I'm going to start a fire, right? Like
Yeah.
You just literally use real fire.
And the flicker of the fire underlighting you from above as the shadow sorcerer just burns. And you can see the flicker of the flames. And you can actually see the smoke curling around the ghosts within the room. And now, Henrietta, you can also see them as they become visible. And they look up at you. And you can see these tears of blood pouring down their face. These stern faces of these soldiers. And they turn to each other and they say one more thing in Celestial out loud, all in unison.
Okay, I speak Celestial.
You hear them say, the last march. And they turn, and you can both see them as they begin to walk, or float, or march, and more of them, about 50. Well, not all 50 at once, but you see them begin to march quickly around the corner, and just through here, and they actually pass right through the stone, right through.
Of course they do, yeah.
In the direction of the memorial stels, and you see them just
call them
into the
stels.
wall.
Yeah.
Stels. Let's call them stels. Somebody out there will correct me, right? And you see several other ghosts just passing right by you as they leave these chambers and move beyond into that. Like they come in through the other door that you did not come through, the one extending due west, and you see probably 4 or 5 of them, and they all quietly move past you and disappear into that wall leading directly to the memorial stels.
And just before we cut out, then I just wanted to confirm: did I get the sense when I was observing this that this is it, or is there one more that we have to go to before going to the stels?
You kind of go back into the main room where Henrietta is, and you can just make out in the brilliantly blinding light that she carries the other chamber, and being able to see in the ethereal, you can see a handful of other ghosts standing at their urns. Even as some of them turn and leave, others are standing there in their urns at attention, just waiting.
Okay. So it's not all of them. Got it.
I guess that there's probably a room for each stel we saw.
Maybe.
So 3 more.
Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, but let's find them.
I assume my locate object was gonna switch because those objects don't exist anymore. They're gone.
Those ones are now
Those
gone,
the
and
next
you get
closest.
another pulse. It's still going. You got about, let's say, 2 more minutes left on it. And you get another
Cool.
small
Love it. Great.
pull. Just due west. And a little bit
I
south.
think that's a perfect time to cut.
Absolutely.
So cut over.
Falurie. Outside.
Yes.
You're standing there kind of trying to decide what you're going to do. And you look out over the... do a perception check for me again. We're going to do this till you do it right, damn it.
Yes, sir. We still got a way to go. 23. Not 20.
Nat 20. Well, if there was a time for a nat 20. All right. You're standing there just taking it all in and breathing, trying to calm your breath. And you look up at the clouds. And for a moment, it's as calming as it can be, these roiling, flame-lit clouds. And then you see this flicker. And you've seen flying devils before. That is not a flying devil. There's a small rise, probably a mile or two. It's hard to tell with distance in hell. But there's a small rise about a mile or two south. You drove past it, past the bone brambles, on the way in. And there's a bit of a hill, and beyond that you see this strange kind of arcing kind of stone, as though a mountain had been sheared off in the distance, right on the edge of the horizon. But much closer, about 2 miles off. This small rise where these bone brambles grow up, these bleach white tangle of trees in this twisted forest. And flying above them out of the clouds, you see what can only be described as a big dragon. This massive, and with a nat 20, you can see it, a massive black dragon silhouetted against the sky. And, I mean, you got bird eyes, man. You got eagle eyes. You make out something. You see this little something on its back where a rider would be. And it circles the brambles for a little while. And then it like calls out, circles around, and just begins to do this slow arc towards the north. But judging by its size, that was probably an ancient black dragon.
And am I close to our two chaperones there?
Yep. Yeah, you make your way down the hill pretty quick. Actually, you could just shadow step down there from where you are.
All right, I do that. So I'm like, what are you guys gonna do?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Barnaby, the flame skull, just totally taken by surprise as you step out of the shadows behind him. What do you mean, what are we gonna do? We're packing up. We can't stay forever. We'll wait, but, like, not forever.
You guys haven't seen the black dragon?
I beg your what? The black... There's...
Yeah, right down yonder.
When you pointed out, Barnabas's jaw just goes... and then clicks closed. The flames flicking around his head a little bit faster now. And he looks over towards the Kenku who are busy arguing and, like, slapping each other and trying to tighten the wheel. And one's like, ass backwards. No, you ass backwards. And they're just basically calling each other names in other people's voices for a little while. They don't seem to have noticed, but Barnaby now calls to them and says, "Hey, bird breath. Sorry, no offense, he says to you. Shut the hell up. There might be trouble. If that thing circles
How long
this
will
way,
it take for you to lose it?
well, if they see us, we could maybe make a break for Maggie's. Fort Knucklebone is that way, and he uses a mage hand, just apparates with a slight flicker of purplish flames around it. Points due east and a little bit north from where you are. Kind of, you came in from the northwest, so it would be circling back and around towards where the Styx is now flowing.
How long will it take you to get there?
Oh, it's a little bit hard to tell here, as you probably gathered, but we're probably maybe anywhere from an hour to half a day. If we go full speed, we could probably make it in less. But yeah, if that thing is what I think it is, I don't want to wait here.
All right. Here's this then. How about you go back to Mad Maggie's for now, for shelter, safety. Wait a few hours, and then come back. I have this suspicion that we'll probably require your assistance to get out of here.
All right. Yeah. You've been fair to us, and you helped the mistress. It's really hard for a dude with a lisp to say mistress, but we owe you.
You're doing great, buddy.
At least that
Doing
much.
great.
So, here, and he tosses you a little pouch. You catch it.
Okay.
You pop it open. You look inside, and you see 2 more soul coins. The things that fuel these infernal machines, as well as used for currency. And he looks and says, That one is yours by all rights. We just helped you get here. And he points towards the big school bus looking thing. Like a minibus. A little bit bigger than a minibus, with the claw on the back. And he goes hovering over towards the dune buggy. So, unless, of course, you want this one, but it's a bit small for your group. Mind you, you keep losing people, so... Oh, sorry. Too soon. And the 2 Kenkus look at each other and look back at you and go, Too soon. Too soon.
Does the bus-like vehicle have any self-protection mechanism? Because obviously, if no one's here to watch it, there's nothing stopping other people from taking it.
That's true. You could take the coin out, maybe, that's already in it. But, And one of the Kenku, the one you shat on, goes running over to the bus machine, and you hear for a little while, and then comes back out with this large wheel. You recognize it after a second of like, oh, that's the steering wheel. And it just offers it to you and says,
See? It was good. It was good luck after all.
Good luck after all. Don't be a dick.
All right, I take the wheel.
And Falurie takes the wheel.
Thank you.
All right. The 2 Kenku and the Flame Skull go over to the smaller, whatever it's called, the smaller dune buggy looking infernal machine, and they arrange it, they push it, and they turn it so that it's facing downhill the opposite side of where you can still see that dragon. You can just make it out circling over the Bone Briar and a little bit further north. I don't remember who had the map. Was that Fenris?
I do right now.
Oh, Henrietta still does. Okay, good.
Actually, I think I do.
Yeah,
one of you has it.
I'm happy for Fenris to have it.
Yeah,
one of us has it. Sure.
One of you has the mad cartographer. Good. So they give you a little wave, Falurie, and they call back and good luck to you. And hey, if you're headed back towards Knucklebone, don't be a stranger. You find us or
All right, we'll see.
get in touch.
Sounds good.
We're not coming
So,
back.
as they-
He calls as they start to roll it down the hill without starting it, just like, you know, good old fashioned driving with a popping the clutch type driving, and they roll it as far as they can down the hill, and you see the one Kenku go ass over tea kettle at one point and then hop up and catch up, and they're pushing it, and they get a good long ways with the head start of the hill, and Barnabas is steering, and off they go.
Is Henrietta's horse still in the bus?
It was a real horse, right? Yes.
It's a real celestial horse.
A real celestial.
I hope it survives.
Snow
It's a
white
summon
mane.
horse.
Go ahead.
It is technically
since-
a celestial spirit, which is manifesting the shape of a horse, technically.
All right. Well then. Interesting. 1 second, please. All right. So there, you can kind of close it in there as best you can. It's not that visible from the outside. The tarp's kind of in one part or kind of back, so you take a few seconds to secure everything. And I mean, you have a fly speed. You can just up on top, make sure it's nice and secure. You take a furtive glance, like looking back towards where this dragon is, and you look back to the crypt where your friends have now been for the better part of 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
I mean, we took a short rest, so it's at least an hour.
Oh.
Unless we're doing
Yeah,
time.
it'll be a little over an hour at this point. What do you want to do, Falurie? You staying out here? You going in?
Well, Falurie thinks a little bit. Obviously, she's not a match for a dragon. There's two
I
options.
don't know about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll go wingspan and wingspan. We'll see what happens. So there's obviously two choices, but thinking, you know, how far that she's come with the group so far in regards to reaching their common goal and finding Sarnia. She doesn't believe that she's strong enough to pull an escape by her own and go find Sarnia by herself. So the need for the collective assistance, and spurred by the ancient black dragon, is enough to have her go to the crypt, not in a panic, but in a focused, calm manner, preparing herself for God knows how long in very tight quarters. So she'll fly solemnly to the crypt and try not to panic while finding her friends or colleagues or people.
As you stand at that threshold, about 10 feet below the ground, 10, 15 feet, that doorway, you take a deep breath. Roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom saving throw.
I was just thinking this is the part where
19.
Go ahead. Yeah.
19.
It's funny because it's simultaneously hot and sticky, but also eerily chilly. And as you exhale, just the mist of breathing out cold air, and you take about 3 feet, and this spectral spirit walks by about 10 feet in front of you, and you're just like, it doesn't look at you, it's marching this way. It is a ghost, translucent, armored, and you look at it, and it's muttering something, and there's about a few seconds, and you hear it, and you're like, the last march. And a few seconds later, another one. And they're all walking left at the end of the T-junction. And you're just like, they seem to be paying you no mind whatsoever and they're walking that way. That's the directions your friends went, you're pretty sure. You were kind of in a flop sweat at the time, but you think they went left as well.
Alright. The spirits go marching one by one, hurrah. And I follow them.
Nice. As you follow the ghosts into the crypt. And I think at that point, we're going to take a little break. All right, thanks everybody. While we all take a little break. Hey, internet. I'm just going to remind you that we always take suggestions. So if you have an idea, we'll try to make that happen. And thanks very much for listening and joining and watching. And of course, if you're listening to this after the fact, we'd love a follow or a sub or whatever the platform is, because we do try to release episodes every week or two. And we also do Shadowrun. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons, you might like Shadowrun. It's like the cyberpunk, older, twisted, dystopian brother. And then I also do some video gaming, which you can find in this channel as my other handle right there. So we're going to take what do you think, guys? 15? Can't even see them right now.
I could be back in 10.
Sure.
I only have an...
All right, so let's be back in 10 minutes. Awesome. So we'll be back in 10. Thanks for watching. All right. And welcome back. All right, everybody. We are going to pick up right where we left off. So let's do this. So, Falurie, you're following ghosts down through the tunnels, left and right. They are paying you no mind. Every once in a while, you see one that is alert and not marching. And the first one I'll give you for free, where you're like, oh, that one, and it looks up at you like, and this threatening visage. But it does seem to not be approaching you yet. And then the rest of them just kind of, one of them walks right through you as you pause. Just, and it just keeps on walking down and to the right at this point. You went left and then to the right, a few twisting passages. Meanwhile, not in the crypt. Somewhere else. Somewhere private. The mist forest extends around you, and Darmita and Nishida. And it's muted and still. And she looks at you.
What is it you need to know?
Oh, so much, but primarily, we need to know how to find the Bleeding Citadel.
I can tell you. But it is too dangerous. If you go against Zariel, they will kill you, and they will bind you, and everything I have done has failed. Except that you are free. I do not want to throw that away. There is a way. I am bound to Zariel. And when they exert their will, I must obey. but it takes effort. And if Zariel is distracted, if the odds were better, then I could help you, daughter. If you are willing to find those who might strike against Ariel as well, then that and the sword and the name and it might be enough. If you can promise me, if you can bring me proof that you have the Demon Lord might do it. Zariel has many enemies, both devils or demons. And if you could turn their focus, it would keep Zariel off balance, distracted, and it would give you a chance. And then I could aid you. You must choose. You must decide if you have enough time. There are those who would help, but not out of the goodness. There is no goodness in their heart. But there are those who would love to have Zariel fall, both demons or devils. And if you could, Belle might be enough, or the Dragon Queen, or the Demon Lord would be easiest. He's the least guarded, and his insane rage. There is a demon held prisoner, and if you were to free him, he would stop at nothing, even his own destruction, to attack Zariel directly. And I could send you there. I know how to find him. I don't know how to find Bel, the devil. Bel was in charge. Was the Lord of Avernus. And when Zariel made their deal with Asmodeus, Bel was demoted. A right-hand man. You might find an ally in Bel. And then
Perhaps the Demon Lord.
the Demon Lord might be enough. If you can free him,
Okay.
it will take him some time to track and attack. But if you can free the Demon Lord, then I can let you know where the sword is kept. In that time, you would probably have enough time to retrieve it. And then we could act against Zariel together. The Demon Lord, myself, and my daughter.
Well, I have good friends, so they'll be there too. Which leads me to the next thing I need to know. This isn't my first time encountering you. So previously, when we were, I think, out of game, I'm trying to remember. Were we on the
We were under the
on
prison.
the ridge? Under the prison. Okay. You told me that we needed to acquire some things. The sword being one, the eyes being another. So I need to know the helm that has, I guess, taken over Henrietta, or affixed to her or something. We can't get it off. Is that the eyes that we need?
If it is the helm that you speak of, that is not the eyes. The eyes of Pellar was a rank, a station. Zariel and myself served as watchers for the Celestials, scouts. Ours was not to wage war. Skirmish, seek, watch. As the trusted one of Pellar, Zariel was given a great gift. What Zariel saw, Pellar saw directly. Zariel's eyes were that of Pellar's. It was a great gift and a great honor, but it wasn't great enough. And when we came here, Asmodeus reveled in showing as much of the hells as possible to Zariel and Pellar. This went on a long time. It's not every day you get to torture a god. But Zariel grew tired of this. And when Pellar's assassins began to find their way, when the spies of the celestial ranks and the other allied gods began to move into the hells, it was too much of a liability, and Zariel made another deal. Zariel pledged further service, further souls in the service of the Devil Army, in the endless war, entire new cities, with her henchmen going to the material plane, seeking out those who could be corrupted. Ostrin was one of hers. I knew him as Haruman. I was sometimes sent as well. And I wasn't there, but I know that Zariel's original fortress was attacked, sundered, and crashed. After that, when I came back, Zariel had plucked out their own eyes. Perhaps you may find them in the old shattered fortress, or other things that might be of use. I'm afraid I wasn't here, so I can't say for sure,
It's okay.
but it's worth a shot.
Hmm.
You to have her eyes. They said they were the same rank. Obviously, I'm not saying this to you in character, but
Yeah.
Zariel was always slightly higher rank than Nishida, just so you know. If not, then I'm
Okay.
retconning that.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure. I thought she was higher than him originally, but
No, Zariel was always
Okay.
the leader, and then the two. So there was the I forget if it was a solar or a
she was
planetar.
the Deva.
She was the Deva, as well as Lulu was the
Yeah.
Holophant mount, who would sometimes go in Deva form, being able to shapeshift,
Right.
or human form, one or the other. Speaking of
Okay.
which, at about that
So-
point, Falurie, you turn a corner and almost have a goddamn heart attack as this wrinkled, old, gnarled hand reaches out and clutches your wrist, and you just post up, and the little old man's like, oh dear, hello. Lulu, standing in the darkened corridor,
What the?
back in the
fuck are
original
you doing
chamber.
here?
Oh, Falurie, you found your way in. There are beautiful carvings here. Be careful what you touch.
Lulu, do the others know you're here?
Oh goodness, I seem to have wandered off a little. And Lulu links his arm underneath yours. Let's go find them. Good day. And as a ghost walks
great.
right past Lulu. Good to see you again, Corporal. I forget his name, he whispers to Falurie. Some of the details are still very foggy. It was lighter, lime. I don't remember.
All right, let's go. All right, I begrudgingly, because I don't know Lulu that well. All I know is that, you know, he was in charge of.
Of Darmita.
I can't remember. Damn it.
Darmita?
Darmita.
There's so many names.
Darmita.
How do you
Darmita,
Welcome
okay.
to my world, bro. Nishida.
Yeah.
Darmita.
He was in charge of Darmita. So I know that, you know, he's of importance, and obviously we, atop of that ridge there, we fought to try and save him. So, you know, I'm glad somewhat, even though I find his oddity disconcerting. But, you know, some other people might have the answers to this, so I'll just go and escort him to.
All right.
We're trying to discover where the group is.
All right. You keep on searching
All
for a
right.
little while. Meanwhile,
So, given the information I've gotten so far, I'm gonna change things up. So we're on my third question.
Yep.
So I'm gonna look at her and be like, and it's so funny what you just did, because I was totally gonna be going here.
Mhm.
Lulu has shattered parts of himself. How do I reverse what has happened to him so that he's at his full strength? He's here, you know.
there's a flicker at that as she kind of looks and then looks back with a slight smile.
Lulu is loyal, almost to a fault, and an eternal optimist. Which is funny for a Celestial to say, I know. But as a Watcher, I've seen so much. I joined Zariel willingly. You should know that. Originally. Not when they turned and made a deal with Asmodeus. Lulu was Zariel's most loyal servant, friend. After we hid the sword, I was slightly distracted, being torn to ribbons. They would bring me back and tear me apart again. Hang me on that cursed tree. I don't know exactly what happened, but I suspect the waters of the Styx will rob you of your memory, rob you of who you are, steal your soul, and leave you an empty husk, serving a pathetic shadow of what you were once, likely scooped up and serving in the eternal war, the ranks of the lemurs and the lower devils. Fodder for our war. If you don't spend too much time in the Styx, it will blank your mind. But perhaps not forever. Celestial beings, high enough ones, and their counterparts, the archdevils, they have the power to do incredible, awful things. A planetar or an archdevil could definitely return Lulu's memories. Or enough time, perhaps the pieces could come back. I am now a Death Knight, devil, undead monstrosity. But a piece of what I was is still here. And that piece can still help. Somewhat. May I?
She reaches up her hand
And I
towards
lean
your face.
forward.
She grabs your chin with both hands gently, tucks you forward into an embrace, and she's still a Deva's frame, and although somewhat shrunken down and twisted. So she still towers over you, like she's a good 8 feet tall, whereas you're probably 5 and something. So she bends down over you and just gently kisses your forehead and wipes a hand down one side of your face and then the other, and places her hand on your shoulder, on your collarbone kind of area.
I missed you so much. And I missed so much of you. I left when you were just a baby. I'm not gonna miss decades of your life. If there's anything I can do about that.
And she kisses you once on the forehead. And this pain, almost like an edge of fire, flashes down. It's at once warm, but got an edge to it as it burns across you. And she holds you steady through the pain, and you lift up off the ground. Your wings just on their own come out, and after a few seconds of hovering there. You then fall back down to your feet. And you look at your hands. And they're young again. Some scars that you used to have are still there. But you have been restored. That's 3, right?
That was 3, yeah.
Okay. So, and I believe commune 5 or 3? I always get those confused. Anybody want to look for me?
I could, yeah.
All right. Regardless, we can come back if we need to. Oh, wait. Wait, I forgot.
I do. I did forget.
3. I thought it was 3. Okay. So the whitened, like oversaturated forest is beginning to fade back into shadow. And you are within moments back in the pitch black, just barely able to see the shape of Nishida in front of you and the walls around you in dark vision. You are back in the tunnels
And I'm just
beneath the crypt.
Yeah. I'm just gonna lean up. Like, can I mean, she's like huge. She's tall, way over me. And I'm just gonna kind of try to extend myself to try to go.
She is hunched, so she's only
closer
about
to her face.
Yeah, you could get real close, and she's kind of arcing down to speak to you. Almost like a tall parent to
And
a
I'm
child.
just Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just gonna in her ear whisper, whose name was scratched out of your journal? And what was the mix? Like, I want to know, basically, I found her journal that she wrote. So I want to know what was missing from there. Like, can she tell me that without danger?
It was Darmita, right?
She gives a small smile. And she blinks. And she presses a finger to your lips for a second.
If this works, there will be time. We'll finally have some time. But I can't say now. But you
didn't think so.
probably know.
Okay.
All right. Henrietta and Fenris, can I get you to do either perception or investigation? It's your choice. I'm assuming you're still looking around. We could take it play
we're
by
heading
pay
to
if
the
you
next
want.
room, but the question is, like, how long did that all take, right? We might be synced up at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a sidestep to an alternate communal dimension where devil nor beast may interfere. You definitely have time to move around somewhere if you want to go.
I mean, I think we're going to go west, right? And then we're going to... I'm going to keep looking, right? For the next spot.
So the next room, although its shape is different, it's still got those same funerary urns, although at a glance, you can only see 2 ghosts remaining, whereas originally there were more urns, so you get the impression that some of these have been released, at least to the other room.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got
did the
17.
same thing as last, where I, like, it's probably this scene of, like, Henrietta walking in and Fenris is following, and then as soon as she, like, crosses the threshold, she starts to, like, go down to a knee, and he's like, what are you...
Every time he kind of squeezes past.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just like, okay, just shake my head a little bit and look around.
And again, if you don't disturb the urns, the 2 ghosts in the room will not attack. You get a look around, and there is on the opposite side of the room, a little bit kitty corner, but there's another exit from the way you came in. There's only the 2 visible rooms. Henrietta, you do still get a sense that due west is that pulse.
Great.
And
anything exceptional in the room, or did you want to roll a perception?
Not particularly. It's very similar to the other ones, urns and weapons, and this one's even
it's weapons.
less
It's not
suspect.
like a fancy.
No, nothing too fancy.
Okay.
If you need a weapon, you could probably
Let's
take
keep
one.
going then.
We can pass through.
No, we're not touching anything.
Come on.
No,
But
no touchy.
I will walk into the darkness.
All right, you
Yeah,
walk into.
we're if we don't see anything, yeah.
You walk into the next room, and again, the shape of the room is different, and there are many urns, and you do see a few urns, and Fenris, you see one ghost just standing there, and actually, Henrietta, you can just make it out, just wispy, hovering next to one urn, but the other urns are totally empty. Otherwise, it is a very, very similar room to the last. There is besides the room the entryway that you came through, there is another exit on the far left, at the far end of the room.
Great.
Are you pinging still to the west?
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna like recast around now because I am like spending more time than I need to like
Absolutely.
issue these like
These
tokens of good faith.
Yeah. But they do go over well.
I have enough slots for this.
The ghosts do seem to visibly
Okay.
at ease when you say these things.
All right, so I'm going to re-up that spell for another 10 minutes.
So you walk in and kind of just make sure the way is safe. And then Fenris is ready to keep going, and Henrietta kneels and begins a hymn.
Mm-hmm.
The stones reverberate, and you hear this echo coming down due directly west of where you are now, and you look at the wall, and there's another weapons bank, row upon row of swords and shields, a couple of helms. There is the exit at the end of the room, or there's the weapon bank directly here.
Yeah, I think I'll mention it's like we might just be able to go through that passage, but I'm a little suspicious that there might be a passage behind these weapons. How much longer do you think Darmita will be?
Don't know, but I think let's keep going for now. So when I look at the weapons rack, do I see that there might be a space open between them, or?
Do an investigation check for me.
Okay. 11.
It's hard to tell. I mean, this looks just like the other weapon racks. Maybe
I'm not going to go through it.
Maybe if you move them.
Yeah, not interested.
Might as well check the other passage first.
Yeah, I'd rather.
If we don't find anything, we can double back. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
Oh,
that went dark, didn't it?
Yep. It's the opposite of what
you step into darkness. All right.
Okay, we got some more of these like little, alcoves.
Yeah, this alcove. This is a hallway with slightly different rank of burial ground. It's called Knight's Caskets. When you approach this area, you see recesses in the walls which hold iron burial caskets. Each casket has a single healthy red rose resting on the lid in each of these three alcoves. The hallway continues on, and you can just make out hold on one sec there, Henrietta. You can just make out more urns, and you kind of poke your head around the corner, and you see more urns, and Fenris, you see one ghost standing near a cluster of about 5 urns in the corner.
Okay.
The room...
No, I think we missed it.
Yeah, and you get this idea as you walk past, Henrietta, you get this pull as directly beneath you now, due south, and a little bit back from this direction. Your ping as you locate devil contracts. That's what it was.
That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah. Please locate devil contract. Like, I understand locate object, especially if you're like looking for your keys, but like find infernal pacts.
This is like the only time that spell's ever been
It's
useful.
totally
though,
useful.
right? Because it's
This is
usually
it. This
like,
is
oh, I
the
want to
one.
find something that's a mile away, and it's like the spell's not that long range, and here it's like it's just in this dungeon. Where do we go?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
really good, actually.
I was so you were getting
so
a
I
ping
went-
Back to the weapons
due
rack.
south of the last
and I
of the
walk over-
alcoves.
And I look, and I think I want to take a look at those caskets again. So I come back. Can you just give me the description again
Sure.
of the knight's caskets?
They're iron caskets, burial caskets, very military. They're not super adorned or anything, but they do have one decorative flair, and that is an actual. It looks like a living rose, as though it was cut just
That's what I
yesterday,
thought you said. I wasn't
and
sure
it's
if you meant a
resting
living
on
rose or if you
the
meant,
lid
like,
of each of the caskets.
a inscription. That's definitely something. Yeah.
Let's check the weapons rack first.
Yeah, you do that while I do this one.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to check the weapons rack again.
All right, so Fenris goes back and begins digging through it. Can you do another investigation check for me?
Sure.
Unless you want to try something else.
I'll investigate first, but then I'll use my kind of... Well, let's see what my investigation is.
Sure.
Not good. 3.
You rolled
So
a 2.
I-
There's
no
a
better.
little gap right where it meets the wall, and you're like, there's a little shadow right there. If you could move this whole thing or empty it, maybe there's a secret pressure plate. The weapons are in the way, though.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell that to Henrietta and call out and say, I don't really want to disturb the weapons, though, but I think it's the ways through here.
All right.
If you find how to, please, but there's no reason why these roses would be fresh.
Yeah, don't touch anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna start at him. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
All right.
Cool.
Go
I think
ahead
I'll do
and-
the 10 minutes unless something happens.
Sure. So
So that'll
Fenris
give
is
people
busy
time to
just
catch up.
looking at this in great detail, and the ghost is standing there just looking at you. And as you get closer to this thing, it's just watching you from behind. You can just feel the eyes. Only one ghost out of 3 urns, but you're just like,
One goes. I'm going
Mhm.
to talk to him.
sure.
I'm going to say, hey there.
He seems a little surprised that you can see him.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say, hey, we found part of what can free you, and many of your comrades are now on the last march. We seek to help the rest of you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Your eyes. You could see me.
Only one.
Yes,
It's been long
because they're golden.
time. Yes. We stay. Await. The service of Zariel. Bound. You will help us. You have. Was this your doing?
Yes.
He motions to the empty urns.
Yes,
Then
we can help.
you're freeing my comrades in arms. Yes. You are welcome. How may I help?
I think there's an entrance through that weapons rack. Do you know anything that you can of import of it? If I touch it, is it cursed? Will other things attack me? And I don't mean to dishonor you by touching and moving these things around, so that's why I ask.
It is good that you ask permission before you touch the possessions of a soldier. That would elicit a response normally. But you have my permission. If you wish, you seek what we could not find. We have searched and searched. We cannot see that which binds us here. A hollow stone epitaph. But we seek the bindings. And we have failed. May you succeed where we have failed.
Thank you. And I'm going to then turn to the weapons rack and, with his permission, start seeing how I can find the secret entrance.
All right,
so you go digging through for quite a while and like placing the things beside, and after a while you start to get a little more desperate.
Carefully,
like you're poking at the back and you're prying at the boards, and at one point you look at him and he's just standing there like, and he kind of does this motion like, and so you then start pulling at the rack and you pry it out from the wall, and it moves. It's a good like 8 feet, maybe 10 feet long, so you can kind of shuffle it like a bookshelf and just creak, and it slides ever so slightly. Go ahead and do a strength check for me. That's right, making the sorcerer do a strength check.
I'm not gonna use strength. I'm going to.
Are you gonna use the spell for this?
Oh no! I need to save this stuff in case we get into a scrap.
Yeah.
Fine. Strength check, huh? Right. Straight roll. 15. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
You kind of limber up a little, brace yourself, get a leg against the wall, and just pry, and the whole thing just like a bookshelf, kind of oversized bookshelf, just trying not to topple it. You didn't take everything off, but you took a lot of it, so it's a little lighter. So it does move out from the wall, and behind the wall, right where that little tiny crack was that you looked before, you're like, okay, this is gonna be stone. Just stone. You take another look, you dust it, you use your mage hand to poke it.
Yeah.
If it's a secret passage, it is really it's beyond you. Doesn't appear to be anything behind this. At about that point, Darmita.
What about thank you.
Darmita, you
10 minutes left too.
Yeah. So you are back in the chamber with your mother in the dark. The mummies are still in the room, but they're keeping distance. You and her are free to move around, and down the hallway you hear soft footprints and a shuffling footsteps coming from this hallway here. And after a few minutes, they get closer and closer. Falurie, you see a handful of things happen. You see something skitter away in the dark down this way. Hold on one second. I'm on the wrong. All right. You get a cold sensation as more and more ghosts keep passing through from southwest towards northeast. But they pay you very little mind. You pass these inset. Where's your mini? You're not on here.
No, I was. No, I'm not.
Do you have a mini? Do you have a little icon? Oh yeah, there you are. All right.
Yes.
Wow. All right. There we go. I'm just gonna put you and the old man together. I don't have the old man's icon right now. So you are here and you see something moving this direction. And you also hear some quiet words echoing, and you're pretty sure they come this way. The old man Lulu is trying to tug you off toward the south entrance in this particular room you find yourself in. And Lulu's like, I think they went that way. And he just kind of goes bumbling on ahead of you unless you want to stop him.
No, he seems to have been down here a bit longer than I have, so he probably knows his way around a little bit.
Absolutely. So he descends into this small corridor, and there are these funerary caskets on the left and right in these little vestibules, in these little alcoves to your left and right. You do notice there is a red rose on each of them, and it looks fresh cut, brand new, beautiful red rose.
Last time
glistening.
too.
Yeah, you guys didn't quite spot those
I
last
thought
time.
this was unique.
Nope. And they're on each of the caskets.
All right.
And as you
No,
do, you want to
sounds
stop
silly.
and mess with the roses or the caskets, or are you going to keep on moving?
I'm gonna keep on moving.
All right. You and Lulu turn around the corner, and do you have any light source? And do you have dark vision?
Do I have a light source? Why, yes, I do. But do I want to use it in this instance?
It's pretty dark. Like, it's pretty pitch black down here. So if you don't have dark vision,
I
I
think
mean, is it darker here than it was earlier?
no. But you guys have been walking around with a light spell. So if you don't have that, there is no.
No. I
natural light.
mean, I just mean Falurie's already bumbled through here for a while, so I wasn't sure. If
I'm
anything
going to
has
assume you have
changed.
some kind of light source or dark vision. I don't know about.
I have a light source. I just can't remember if I have dark vision or not.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
you'll
don't
have a
think
light
you do,
source.
But theoretically, Lulu might think to cast light. Or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I have-
Lulu
I think
does
you
have
can.
light.
I have the
if you
gem
don't.
of brightness.
Oh wow. No, you can
I
save
have
that.
gem of brightness.
Unless it does. I don't want to waste it.
Hey,
on
dude,
that.
I have 44 charges left.
Oh, okay. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
light that up, and you're keeping
So-
some of it covered in a cloth of a
Yeah, it's
tabard or
a
something.
30-foot radius.
Yeah. So it's plenty bright. You come around the corner and you see these fetid, blackened, twisted, some scattered wings just enveloping the room in front of you. Large, probably, or very close to large. Probably a good 8 foot tall. This creature is, and looming large. And you see this small cloaked Darmita is just surrounded by this thing, and the head turns, and you see this undead glowing eyes look at you as this
Fuck.
Death Knight of Avernus looks at you and Lulu, and Darmita is just eyes closed looking up, the hand just here, the large creature just wrapped right at the throat, and looks up at you as you come around the corner with your blinding light and flinches instinctively in the brightness. What do you want to do?
Says, so what's happening here? And I am of the shadows.
Darmita
With the bright
Darmita's
light.
being choked out by an undead death knight from the hell. This is what it looks like.
It is always amazing the amount of time between seeing an enemy and firing an arrow, or whatever the attack is, when you don't know. It's so hard to do.
At a glance, you can see Darmita is still standing. She looks like she's still alive. But her eyes are closed, head is somewhat up, and this very large hand, a little, like probably twice, almost not quite twice as big as a regular hand, has
Yovin
just been pressing on her
said,
like this.
choked out. Giggity.
Oh dear. Hey, open.
Oh, dear God.
Luri, were you present in the dream when we saw Nishida, or were you in your own dream at that point? Because I remember there was a little bit of divergence in the dream world. Because you might recognize her, I'm not sure.
No, I think I was present in that dream. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't think I had my own dream
Yeah,
that
I
time.
think
so.
Falurie
You
was
would
with
have
us.
seen her before she was an undead death knight. So
Yeah.
Tell
so
you
still
what.
reason to be worried about, but
how
just
about
want to make
this?
sure that's clear.
Why don't you roll an int check? Just straight up intelligence. See if you can,
Not
or
insight?
wisdom,
Oh.
whichever one. I'll let you pick. intelligence for recall,
Let's go with wisdom.
or wisdom to be like perceptive. It's not quite perception.
We'll go
though,
with
it's like
wisdom.
recall. Okay.
And,
Different,
21.
Nice. All right, you're just like, and then you recognize her. You're like, that Death Knight looks like Nishida. And you remember Nishida from the dream, the one who brandished the sword and drove it flew it away with Lulu. You only saw her briefly, but you're pretty sure she doesn't look like she used to. What do you want to do?
So she doesn't have it going on.
Debatable.
Wow.
She's
you changed.
definitely in a goth mode. Let me just put it that way. Which that can be awesome, but you know. It's like
She is
Lucille
my
Ball
mother,
gone goth.
after all.
Nice.
So do I see a resemblance, or
You've been pausing long
Yes.
enough, and at this point, Darmita opens her eyes, seeing the light, and looks over at you, kind of, oh god, fading into view from her invisibility dropping, and Darmita looks up at you, and Lulu goes, "Oh, good, Darmita, oh."
And I will call him toward us. Come,
He
Lulu.
seems very hesitant at first, not sure if this is a friendly
Yes.
creature.
I might get him killed. Who knows?
I mean, I think we cut the scene there, right?
It is 12 o'clock.
It is 12 o'clock,
my guys
and that is a
Sorry,
hard
guys.
12.
seriously
hard
regretting having left a black dragon?
All right. Just in case we forget later, what Nishida mentioned to Darmita before, just before Falurie arrived, is well, no, we'll do that later. That would kind of cheapen it. There is some. I just want to remind you as a GM, because I don't give out enough treasure. There are some items that were thrown out of that urn and are littered on the floor that might be useful. Just remember that for next time. And otherwise, I think we'll cut it there. As you're looking behind a bookshelf, Fenris, Darmita, you've reunited with your mom, and Falurie, you're back underground,
Confused as heck.
confused, and Lulu's there, and Henrietta, you are just kneeling and praying and casting detect magic on a bunch of roses. And that,
Yeah, which apparently were earlier, and I just didn't even realize. So it's like I wasn't looking for secret passages then.
I think I mentioned it. All right, I think that's it for
You
tonight.
probably did.
Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me today. That was a lot of fun playing. And
Yofin
it was good.
said. Episode name, Dragons to the left of me, Dark Spirits to the right, here I am getting throttled by you.
that's amazing. Thank you so much,
Nice,
Yofen. That is
nice.
awesome. Absolutely. I was going to ask for an episode name, but you beat me to
And
it.
now that song is now in my mind.
Absolutely.
I've got an earworm now. Thank you,
All right.
Yaofin.
Well, we are all our jokers.
I still have sea shanties in my hair.
All right, thanks very much for watching, everybody. We're gonna let Gordon hit the road because I know he's got to go.
Yofin
I might stick around for a little bit while.
said. You are welcome.
Nice, and hopefully we'll have you back on the stream in a couple of weeks for another Shadowrun. I like to do one every 3 weeks or so. So this is week 1 of D&D. We'll hopefully be back next week if all goes well, and then Shadowrun after that, more or less. But we'll play it fast and loose as needed
Great.
as I knock stuff over. So that's it for us.
All right, guys.
Thanks
Have a good
everybody,
night.
and have a great night.
Bye,
Have a good night.
Gordon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Gordon.
You've been listening to SideQuest Live,
thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons and Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons and Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games, and again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.